Hey everybody, what's up? Tim here. I hope wherever you're at today, you are doing awesome and that you are crushing it. Title for today is 86,400. And I want to start out today telling you a really cool story that I heard some time ago about two folks who both hit the lottery on the exact same day, and both of them each won $86,400. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty good chunk of change. And each of these folks was excited, they were jacked, they just didn't know how they were going to use their money. And they thought about it, and the more they thought about it, the more excited they got. But each of them, well, they kind of took two different directions. First person absolutely was intoxicated by the fact that they had $80-some thousand that they never had before. So what did they do? They went home, they loaded up their car, and they decided they were going to head to the beach for the weekend. And as they rolled into the beach, they found the biggest hotel they could, and they rented out the penthouse suite. They brought a couple of their friends and family along, and for 3 solid days, they ate room service, they went to the casinos, they went out every night, they ate, and they drank, and they bought drinks for their friends and their friends' friends and for the whole bar, and they just absolutely went on a 3-day splurge and loved it. Came back at the end of those 3 days, and had only $100 left. Totally spent every single dollar of it at the beach. The other person said, well, you know what, this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event, so I'm going to be a little bit intentional about how I spend my money. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give away 10%. I'm going to give away 10% to tithe. And I'm going to take 10%, I'm going to invest it. Then I'm going to take another 10%, and I'm going to put that in savings so I got some cash on hand. And then I think I'm going to do some home improvements. And I think maybe I'm going to upgrade my car. And then I'm going to take my wife out for a special dinner on the town and do something special for her. And we're going to plan a vacation with the kids. And maybe I'm going to put a little bit into the kids' college funds. And you know what? I always wanted to go back to school, so I'm going to put a couple grand toward that degree I've been working on, and now I'm going to finally finish it. And after the weekend was over, that particular person, they didn't have as much to show as the person who was down at the beach. They didn't have as much of a good time. But they had a really good time. But they didn't spend it all, and actually they walked away with some investments and a lot more to show for it, because they thought about, how am I going to use this $86,400? And instead of just wasting it and running through and not even thinking about it, they had investments and gains and increases across multiple areas of their life, and their relationships and their finances and their spiritual life and all kinds of places. And those gains followed them for years, if not decades to come. Well, just like them, every single day, you and I get the gift of $86,400. Now, it's not $86,400, but it's 86,400 seconds. Because 86,400 seconds, if I did the math right, is about how many seconds comprise a day. And every single day, we get another 86,400. And the question is, how are we using those days? How are we using those moments? How are we using those 86,400 seconds every single day? We're like the first person who just goes out and just kind of is unintentional and lets life happen to us and is just kind of squandering our time on whatever we want, and we don't really plan. Are we taking some energy behind what we want to do? Are we taking some time and some intention to plan, what's my next move? How do I want to utilize this great gift that I've been given? Because if we're like the first person and we don't really take that 86,000 seriously, it's going to be gone. It's going to be wasted. And I got to tell you, there's been too many 86,400 second days that I've wasted. And pretty soon they start to add up. Day, becomes week, becomes month, becomes year. And pretty soon our life slips us by. But if we're like the other person, where we think, how do I want to use this time? I want to put some into my self-development. I want to put some into my family. I want to put some into my spiritual walk. I want to put some into the things that are important to me, like my home and vacations and my kids' educations. And yeah, I want to put some into having fun. But I want to think about how I'm going to allocate this. We're going to walk away with benefits that not only impact us for that day, but that week, that month, that year, that decade as well. And the awesome thing is, every single day, we get a new 86,400. But once it's spent, like the first person, once the money is gone, it's gone forever. Once the time is gone, it's gone forever, unless we're investing it into things that have long-term value. So my challenge to you is, how are you using your 86,400 seconds today? How are you going to use it tomorrow? And if your life isn't what you want it to be, and your time isn't used in a way that lasts and has meaning, start to think about how you're going to use that time. Many of us pay a lot more attention to our money than we do our time, but you and I can lose money. We can always get it back. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. So think about that 86,400 and be intentional with it. Put it in the places that you want. Yeah, you can have a good time with it. You can have a great time with it, but don't put it all there. And also take the time to invest it in some of the areas that are not only going to give you a short-term gain, but long-term gains as well. Because that's the way we build a life and a legacy and destiny. So this is Tim with today's SE asking you, how are you using your 86,400? Is it taking where you want to go, or are you just letting it slip through your fingers? Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome, awesome day. I'll talk to you soon.